Okay. It seems like we, Ooh, alright. Seems like we got there. Alright, we're back, yeah. Took a second there. Yeah, Reddit Forward also made a good point. Okay. We're back. I don't know why. Sometimes it happens with the internet. Not all cities have good public transportations, and the cities that do still should have better. True. Yeah, this is a Reason article. Yeah, so I just brought it up because I thought it was interesting to kind of like pick it apart, considering like the ridiculous arguments being presented here, or I guess lack thereof, would be would be it. Lack thereof. I mean, this isn't, for an article or publication named Reason. Maybe they should rebrand. Free minds and free markets. Nice. Apparently comes from George Mason University, considered a conservative powerhouse. Nice! I think they need a rebranding. Are you unfamiliar with Reason? They're very, very libertarian. Yeah, I've never seen this publication before. Well, I mean, I'll say this. That's true, Heizu. Unfortunately... money, regardless of party, does seem to have the decisions. Money seems to be the one swaying the decisions. Sounds like the preservation of civil servants. Meanwhile, in the real world, what does that mean? So yeah, going back to this, I think that the Democratic Party should take into consideration reaching out and making sure people understand what it's important that people understand what is happening, who is doing what, and how policies affect them. This is the TLDR, right? Of this. That's the TLDR, really, the takeaway, I guess I should say, about this article. Like, if only half of rural voters understand that it was the Democrats who voted to send them stimulus checks, but also simultaneously understand that the stimulus checks that they received under the Trump administration were, voted on by Trump, or signed into law by Trump. Clearly, there's a disconnect in trying to reach out and make people understand what their policies are doing, right? I'm more concerned about energy freedom and being able to not rely on foreign imports. Well, I have good news, Genesis Lazy Duck. With renewable energy, you don't have to worry about that. The most energy freedom policy would be to transform ourselves into renewables, primarily solar. There's nothing to rely on if the sun is producing the energy. That's the point. Solar bursts are very reliable. Ooh, that deserves a dab. They suck at self-promotion. True. It all has to do with the media. True. There is definitely an aspect of that too. It has to do... Yes, true. Bring back the fairness doctrine. True. Succession of truth bombs going on here. Yes, I would like to see some form of the fairness doctrine come back, for sure. But even stronger one would be great. Yeah. Solar has to be the future. Simply moving to electric cars that would be powered by coal isn't the answer. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no one definitive, like, catch-all, right? Like, you can't just say, hey, look, folks, we have electric vehicles. We did it. We did the thing. That's not how that works, okay? Fairness doctrine that's what Twitch streamers are for? No. I don't believe the fairness doctrine would apply to... Well, it might. If you're a news person, it might. It might. The fairness doctrine has two, slightly tongue-in-cheek, gotcha. It requires broadcasters to devote some of the airtime to discussing controversial matters of public interest and to air contrasting views regarding those matters. Stations were given wide latitude as to how to provide contrasting views. It could be done through news segments, public affairs shows, or editorials. Doctrine did not require equal time for opposing views, but required that contrasting views be presented. Okay, alright. Well, I mean, like, the demise of this FCC rule has been considered by some to be a contributing factor for rising level of party polarization. Yeah, so, okay, I was a little bit worried there for a second. Especially, like, during the, in regards to, like, the climate change stuff. It does say... You do not require equal time for opposing views. So you would say, like, yeah, this is what some detractors feel about climate change. However, it's BS and here's why, right? Because that would be technically presenting the opposing view, not giving it enough airtime, just saying that this is what some of these detractors feel, and then debunk that. I mean, so yeah, I think the fairness doctrine should be brought back. The main agenda for the doctrine was to ensure that viewers were exposed to a diversity of viewpoints. Okay. Sure. Yeah, so we would be considered broadcasters, so yeah, I think so. This is how Fox became allowed to exist. Yeah, in this, in its current iteration, yes. The fairness doctrine is not the same as the equal time rule, which is still in place. The fairness doctrine deals with discussion of controversial issues, with equal time rules only deals with political candidates. Gotcha. This broadcaster title is actually being debated in Canada right now for YouTuber and Twitchers. Cool. But I do believe we are, I do believe we're broadcasters. I mean, we are broadcasters. This is legitimately no different than listening to, like, a talk radio show. Except I'm actually interacting with you guys live. That's the difference, right? This is no different than you listening to talk radio, with the exception that it's has the video element component to it, and I'm actually interacting directly with the audience, which I guess, I mean, like, talk radio does the same thing by taking phone calls. They can take phone calls, so that's live interaction with the audience. But it's just different. So it would possibly put channels with legal teams at an advantage. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I don't know, like, how... I guess. I don't know. Fox News doesn't interact, nor does CNN. Well, they do, just not live like we do on Twitch. They do. Well, actually, don't these Fox or CNN take phone calls, or don't they like read out messages from their audience? Maybe not all the time. Maybe not all the hosts do this. I gotta go. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate that. Yeah, live radio with emotes and block buttons. I hope you have a good stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate that. Yeah, sometimes. So... And then the Redneck Revolution can acquire them. Close. Make sure I got everything here. Close. Nothing wrong with having an agenda that is better. Is it morally grounded? I'm not sure what that means, but having an agenda doesn't necessarily mean equals bad. If that's what you mean, sure. Not always, not everything that has, or not every person that has a quote-unquote agenda means it's necessarily bad. I have an agenda. It isn't just Fox, obviously, but they're batshit crazy. But every news organization, I guess, does nothing but serve the capitalist class interest. There's no way out of it. So yeah, like I have a no, I think it's an issue with the auto mod catch. So yeah, I have an agenda. In case you guys haven't noticed, I talk a lot about bringing awareness to climate change. My agenda is to stop carbonizing the atmosphere. True. This is why I'm scared of classification. But I do state it. They have more power to force legal changes. Ah. Yeah, then I don't know what I would do then. I mean, like, technically, we are broadcasters. I don't know. I don't know how they would do it. The BBC in England has lost all credibility. I mean, I don't know what that means. I know that there has been a lot of criticisms for the BBC, but then again, there's a lot of criticisms for a lot of the mainstream. They have the power to force legal changes or even the algorithm. Well, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Yeah, I see what you mean. That's dangerous. When YouTube switched to favor legit sources, whatever that means. Oh shoot, I accidentally closed it. Ah, here we are. Like, if you watch Fox News, you know what you're getting. Are you sure? Are you sure? It seems to me like a lot of people on Fox pretend or are told that someone like Tucker Carlson is legitimate. Yeah, reason. You know what you're getting? Well, I do. Well, some people understand that Fox News is BSing them in their face. Even local news can report and then exaggerate. Yeah, I mean, no news outlet is beyond that, right? Yeah, pretending to ask questions. Yeah, no news outlet is without the capability of being biased. I mean, usually you can kind of tell with the rhetoric and language. So it's kind of like it's kind of like up to critical thinking to take over at this point and kind of seeing like, wait a minute, so an illustration would be how we kind of took apart it's kind of like a illustration to how to take apart something and realize that sometimes the words and rhetoric are important to listen to. We saw the skewed nature of that article, right? The reason article, and how they conflate different statistics to make a point, you know, just to drum up a certain narrative. Sometimes, I mean, you can just kind of dispel through that and just get to the story. But, yeah. Local news gets most of the stories from the Sinclair media conglomerate. They're just regurgitating the message that the conglomerate wants to spread. That's true. I only watch it to see what the loonies are saying. Well, I mean, to be fair, we do too. JQing off, yo. I see what you did there. I see what you did there, but I'm a sidestep that and say JQing off. But I see what you did there. Alright, folks, it is about 10:40. I kind of overstated my stop. Vice, I just want to read this article. I'm going to take a second to chill for myself and to take a quick break so that we can continue with these the rest of these articles. Folks, if you enjoy the channel and you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that follow button, like the stream, subscribe to the YouTubes, you know, the social media stuff, subscribe to the YouTubes, join our Discord to have offline conversations, join our Discord, do the YouTubes, like, subscribe, share, follow us here on Twitch, and if you want to support the channel, there's a myriad of different ways you can do it. There's subs, biddies, donos, merch, Amazon Primes, all that awesome stuff. I appreciate all of you guys being here. You guys are what makes this channel grow, and I appreciate it. And of course, my call to action, my main call to action, is spread the word far and wide to everyone and anyone that this is the chillest place for news and politics, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and Saturdays, Saturday Catterdays about noon Eastern Time. Spread the word, everyone and anyone that wants to enjoy news and politics from this perspective here is welcome, and welcome to hang out here. I'll be right back. In the meantime, we will play the video here. Wow. Wow. Are you trying to sell me a Mac? No. It's an ebook. Anyways, I will be right back, folks. Wow.
If you've been following my coverage of the Israeli massacre in Gaza, you know that I am very dissatisfied with Joe Biden's predictably terrible response here and his unconditional support to Israel as they carry out war crimes and an ethnic cleansing in Palestine. But thankfully, now things are starting to change. I stated in a different video that it kind of feels as if we're at a turning point where the tide is turning in favor of Palestinian human rights, and the excuses that individuals who vociferously defend Israel used to use are no longer persuasive. And better yet, we have a member of Congress who is Palestinian, who is actually able to challenge power in a way that we've never seen before. Now, Rashida Tlaib, Palestinian-American lawmaker, actually confronted Joe Biden to his face and called out his unconditional support to Israel. And Luke Broadwater and Nicholas Fandos of the New York Times write about this, saying Representative Rashida Tlaib, Democrat of Michigan, confronted President Biden on Tuesday over his support for Israel amid its bombing campaign against Hamas in Gaza, urging him to stop enabling a government she said was committing war crimes against Palestinians, according to a Democratic aide familiar with the exchange during a conversation on a tarmac in Detroit, where Mr. Biden had arrived to visit a Ford factory near her congressional district. Ms. Tlaib echoed a scathing speech she delivered last week on the House floor, telling the president that he must do more to protect Palestinian lives and human rights, said the aide, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe her remarks. Ms. Tlaib, who could be seen making her case to Mr. Biden as she greeted him at the steps of Air Force One, told the president that the status quo was only enabling more killing and that his current policy of unconditional support for the Israeli government under Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was not working, the aide said. Mr. Biden shook Ms. Tlaib's hand after the conversation and later praised the congresswoman during his public remarks at the factory in Dearborn. And if you want to know what he said, here's the video.
And Rashid Tlaib, where's Rashid? I tell you what, Rashid, I want to say to you that I admire your intellect, I admire your passion, and I admire your concern for so many other people. And it's from my heart, I pray that your grandmom and family are well. I promise you I'm going to do everything to see that they are on the West Bank. You're a fighter, and God, thank you for being a fighter.
Okay. First of all, her name is Rashida, not Rashid. Second of all, you're the president of the United States. Stop praying. Nobody wants to hear about your thoughts and prayers. Start acting by picking up the phone and threatening to cut off aid to Israel. Just like that. It really is that easy. You can exert the pressure that you have as a leader to stop this, but you're not doing that. And because the Israeli government knows that they have the US's unconditional support, Benjamin Netanyahu has gotten more brazen than ever, bombing Gaza's sole COVID-19 testing lab and butchering top doctors, further exacerbating the humanitarian crisis that they've already created in Gaza. And that's not even including Israel bombing a building that housed AP journalists. So spare me. I don't care about your thoughts and prayers. You're the president of the United States. You have the power to act, and you're choosing to not act. You've expressed support for a ceasefire, but you refuse to demand a ceasefire unequivocally. And because that's the case, Israel will continue to commit this massacre, commit atrocities in Gaza. In fact, news broke just as I record this that the Israeli government vows to continue their slaughter of Gaza. So it's really infuriating to see politicians who are in positions of power, especially the president, talk about thoughts and prayers. Nobody wants to hear about your thoughts and prayers. Take action. Stop the bloodshed. Use your power and the executive branch's power to do something. But he's not doing it. So, I mean, it's a little ridiculous that the president of the United States, after a member of Congress who's Palestinian begged and pleaded with him, I mean, all he offered was a prayer. It's embarrassing, honestly. He should be embarrassed. That's a terrible response. Now, this is the reaction to an event that took place near Joe Biden's speech. There's many solidarity with Palestine events going on. One of them was in Detroit, and this was the reaction to Joe Biden appearing in their city as he's permitting Israel to do genocide in Gaza.
Let me say, the president is down the street right now. He's down in the south end of Dearborn. He thinks he can just walk into Dearborn. They have shut down the whole south end to make sure that nobody could get close to him, that nobody could let him know how we feel. We have over 1,000 people here today. I don't know much about physics, I don't know much about sound, but I know the south end is that way. So can everyone look that way, and with the loudest voice you can say, "Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free us today one way or the other.
Again, that was one of many Palestinian solidarity protests taking place around the world right now. So it's nice to see people step up and speak out finally and get on the right side of history and condemn Israeli apartheid and the ethnic cleansing and genocide that they're carrying out currently in Palestine. But back to Rashida Tlaib, I absolutely commend her. I'm thankful that we have her voice in Congress to actually speak out, to represent the plight of the Palestinian people, to actually have family in West Bank, to plead their case. We never had this before. And it's really important to have that representation in Congress, especially now. So people like the president don't just have one side in his ear. They actually get a little bit of pushback. Joe Biden actually hears from Palestinians, from a Palestinian at least, I should say.
That doesn't change anything, though. Okay. America agreed to $750 million arms deal with Israel just this week. What does that say? It says yikes. I don't know if they, I don't know if they should be doing this. I mean, the fact that they destroyed their half of their one COVID COVID facility or whatever it was. I mean, was that necessary? Was that humane? Did you get any Hamas people? Voicing concern is step 0.5, but it needs to be done or action will not be taken. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's true. Gotta turn up those hearing aids. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, they literally... What was the purpose of that? Explain. Explain what was the purpose of targeting, of hitting a COVID site. Can we get involved with any other country? I mean, not in a necessarily giant capacity, but there are things we can do. Considering that Israel obtains billions of dollars of our aid, I think we can cut deals, saying, "Hey, look, bro, this needs to stop." I mean, yeah, that's horrifying. What was the purpose of that? They hit a children's trauma facility? What was the purpose of that? Even if they're, like, attempting to, under the guise of, like, you know, going after, like, Hamas or whatever. Really? You're willing to do that just to get them? Right, like, at what point? At what point do you, like, draw the line there? Like... Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. Yeah, I did see that the Biden administration did restore some of the humanitarian aid to be going to, you know, restoring basic services, I think to the tune of a couple of tens of millions. Most of the Palestinian population is below 18-year-old. I believe a good chunk of it is. I think, if I am correct, about 40-something%. I would also like to point out that another ceasefire negotiation was attempted and failed. Yeah, I don't know the exact meaning behind the exact reasoning behind it. It doesn't really matter. It's it's horrible. Right, for a third time. I mean, that's also true. Behave, be quiet. That doesn't take away from the fact that that doesn't take away from what's happening. Alright, folks. Pro-Trump conspiracy theorists are taking over state Republican parties. A Vice News review of public positions. I don't know the solution to that. But it will have to start with Israel, I imagine. A Vice News review. Mind you, this is Vice, okay? A Vice News review of public positions of all 50 GOP state chairs shows a growing number of conspiracists winning control of the state party chairmanship. The Republican Party chairs of Texas and Wyoming have flirted with the secession of the United States. Well, I mean, to be fair, Texas has always been up in arms about that. And Wyoming have flirted with secession from the United States. Oklahoma's Republican chair is called Islamic Cancer. Oregon GOP called the Capitol insurrection a false flag operation. What? The Oregon, yes, and at least 9 Republican state chairs, including most of the ones in key swing states, publicly pushed former President Trump's big lie about the election. A Vice News review of the public positions of all 50 GOP state chairs shows a significant number openly pushing conspiracy theories, spouting unhinged rhetoric, and actively undermining voters' trust in democracy. Okay, but, like, what does that mean? That includes the chairs of nearly every swing state in the US, and the trend is accelerating. Many of the most extreme chairs just won their chairmanships or have been re-elected since Trump left office 4 months ago, a number of them with his explicit endorsement. Liz Cheney ousters the GOP party leadership showed how much Trump retains his stranglehold on the GOP on the national stage. True. But the overwhelming wins by Trump loyalists in the first widespread internal Republican election since Trump left office, albeit in small contests, chosen by hardcore activist subset of the GOP base, showed that conspiratorial claims about the election run deeper in the states than in Washington, and will guide the grassroots for years to come. Multiple, yeah, Israel. Well, I mean, I think that they're more extreme party does want that. I don't know why people are sitting around expecting that somehow this is going to fix itself. The RNC national chairman from 2009 and 2011, a fierce Trump critic, it won't fix itself because Donald Trump won't allow it to be fixed. And people who back Donald Trump and all the stuff that comes with it think that they're right. they think this is working, and they think this is what the party should be like. Yeah, even though even though there has been polling by the RNC indicating that Trump actually has a negative effect on the party, they still are grasping onto him. Former GOP. And the only thing that like makes sense is that the only thing that makes sense is that Trump say run for another 8 more years. Trump is not universally respected. True. While his endorsement within the party may matter, I'm not sure how that's going to turn into W's. I'm not sure how that's going to turn into W's for the Republicans. And furthermore, I think that this is maybe a possibility that that Trump may be getting ready to run again, which would be why they're still holding on to him so desperately. It is a possibility that because he's preparing to run again, they are kind of clinging on to that in hopes that if he runs, he's going to elevate the party to take over the House and Senate and win all 3 branches in one fell swoop. That might be the plan. I've come to the realization that most of left Twitch sucks. True. I'm not necessarily going to disagree with that. Nah, I think there's some good folks out there. Alright? I think there's some good folks out there. Don't be too doomer about it. I wonder if Trump is still bragging about bringing peace to the Middle East. Yeah, he probably is. Yeah, exactly, Kal-El. And that's one of the agreements to one of the latest element of the ceasefire agreement was simply, if I'm understanding this correctly, was simply this: stop with the settlements. And the other part of the agreement was, I think it was stop the settlements and just return, I think, some of the houses back or something like that was in a dispute with the courts or whatever. And I think that was it. Like, just stop. If I'm correct, let me see here. The latest attempt at ceasefire. Just stop settling more land, give us back some of the houses. How about freedom of movement? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it's right. I think it's just like there was like 2 stipulations. I think it's 2 stipulations that were contested, and that's it. That's literally it. I'm trying to see where it was because I just read about it too. It was this morning that I was reading about it. You'd be surprised, Alio. I can name names, but I'll be banned from this chat. I mean, like, you know, if you don't like certain lefty content creators and have, like, valid criticisms of them, that's fair. You know? Like, if you have criticisms of like lefty content creators that are valid, like actual criticisms, yeah, that's fair. That's not a problem. You need your dose of Twitch drama. Nah, you won't get that here, sorry. I don't care that much. Yeah, me neither. I'm not here for the drama, folks. I'm banned from 3 lefty chats and I'm a socialist. Well, that doesn't... Like I said, I mean, if you have valid criticisms for people, I mean, it's fair, as long as it's like... as long as it's fair and in a constructive, logical manner. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can be criticized too. I'm pretty sure I can criticize. I can be criticized too. We're supposed to love all lefty streamers no matter what. Yes, there is no deviation. Okay, there's no deviation. The only thing you're allowed to do is unequivocally always support every single thing that any lefty says. That's it. Their word is gospel. My word is gospel. Okay? Was literally in Ben's chat just saying the same stuff, derailing the convo. Yeah, I mean, that's all I'll say about that. There's no need for drama, okay? There's no need for drama. If you have criticisms of any content creator, regardless of where they're from, as long as it's fair, logical, and attempting to criticize ideas, there's no problems necessarily with that. Okay? I mean, that's why we have different pockets of like lefty thought, right? Or just different pockets of different thoughts as well. That's why we have we're human beings. Everyone has their own like specific idea or take. Oh, I see. I see. Cheetor Ray. I see. On Twitch has a name that rhymes with the Magnificent Youth. Are you saying that A Difficult Truth is the most toxic streamer on Twitch? Is that what you're saying? Trump would have as well. Anyways. Okay. Focus, everybody. I love it when you tankies fight. There's no tanky. Like, I'm not a tanky. I don't know who's you. The culture of Trump era remains the primary dynamic of the party, and I don't know what's gonna end. The point being is, like, anybody who says that this isn't, anybody who says that that the GOP isn't the party of Trump is just lying to themselves. And furthermore, it's going to lead to their own demise, which is, sounds like a them problem. I feel like they might be setting the stage for this guy to run again. Otherwise, they would have excised him from the party. Alright, this is important, folks. No, it's a party of Trump. It's a party of Trump. Alright, folks, this is important. Everybody focus. This is important. This is important. The governor of Texas has signed a law that bans abortion as early as 6 weeks. Texas Governor Greg Abbott on Wednesday signed into a bill that bans abortion the moment a fetal heartbeat has been detected, a move that makes Texas the largest state in the nation to outlaw abortion so early in a pregnancy. No, he's the party. Don't delude yourself. He's the party. The Texas law effectively prohibits any abortion around 6 weeks of pregnancy before many women are even aware that they're pregnant. The bill, which takes effect into September, makes no exception for pregnancies that are the result of content warning, rape, or incest. Because of course. Because of course. But does include a rare provision that allows individual citizens to sue anyone they believe that may have been involved in helping a pregnant individual violate the ban. Wait, what? It includes a provision that allows citizens to sue anyone they believe that may have been involved in helping a pregnant individual violate the ban. Right, spread it forward. Right. You can be anti-abortion, but also say women should have the right to choose. You don't have to do it. You guys understand that, right? You guys don't have to have an abortion. The entire premise of the argument is whether or not you you acknowledge women's right to self-autonomy, body autonomy, and choice. That's the crux of the argument. Whether or not, like, you personally would ever get an abortion, that is the entire point. You, as the woman, get to choose. Exactly, your body, your choice. There you go. You yourself personally may or may not choose to have an abortion. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But that's the entire premise of the argument. Acknowledging women's rights, acknowledging women's humanity, and body autonomy. The provision cannot be used against pregnant people, but reproductive rights advocates warn it can be used to target abortion providers and abortion right activists. Correct. Spread it forward. The use of lawsuits by private citizens may make the measure harder for abortion right providers to fight. Amy Hagstrom Miller, acknowledging human rights and protecting life. Yeah, like the life of the mother. How about acknowledging the human that's here? That's here in the now, right? The mother. The actual person. Amy Miller, the president and CEO of Whole Women's Health, said that the law would put providers through more legal chutes and ladders. Until we can figure out a strategy to try to block it. Usually when a state is in charge of enforcing a law, it's more clear-cut who Who can sue to stop the law's enforcement, since almost anyone can enforce the law with a civil suit? SB 8 could be harder to block. Pay attention, folks. Yeah, access to human rights? No. Human rights are human rights. They exist. Conservatives want poor and wanted babies to grow up and support capitalism with low ages. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the end game, isn't it? If you live in Texas, this is a call to action. Get familiar with your state's representative, state senator, and understand that this is happening, and encouraged, or I guess they feel emboldened because of the case that's happening in the Supreme Court that could torpedo Roe vs. Wade, codified into law. They want to overturn that, and this case that's right now about to be heard by the Supreme Court could potentially say the states are going to be the ones who are going to run this, and effectively all of these states one by one are just going to start outlawing abortions outright. Conservatives are poor? No, not really. I mean, maybe you're programmed to believe that. But wasn't Trump the one that gave like giant corporations a huge tax break instead of the working class? Oh yeah. Yeah. In a letter to lawmakers last month, in a letter to lawmakers last month, a coalition of more than 300 Texas attorneys raised constitutional concerns about the language of the legislation, saying that civil lawsuit provision weaponizes the judicial system and warning it could subject Texans to harassment and abuse through the legal system. During a signing ceremony with anti-abortion right activist Abbott, a Republican cheered the bill, saying, Our creator endowed us with the right to life, and yet millions of children lose the right to life each year because, oh yeah, hey guys, the blob of cells are, what kind of like language is this? As if like the children. What about, like, the actual person that's on the ground? The woman? What about their right to life? And furthermore, if you're so interested about the children's right to life, why aren't you in favor of supporting programs or lifting children out of poverty? Wasn't the Republican Party fighting the provision to expand tax breaks or tax cuts for children? Wasn't the Republican Party fighting the expansion of education for kids? Huh. It's weird. The new law adds Texas to the growing list of states with conservative leaders that have passed increasingly restrictive abortion laws as a part of an effort to challenge the Supreme Court's 1973 Roe v. Wade decision after U.S. Supreme Court granted precedent guaranteeing the right to abortion. The latest development on that front came Monday when the High Court said it would consider a Mississippi law that bans most abortions after 15 weeks, before what is known as fetal viability. The court has previously said states cannot impose an undue burden on a woman's right to an abortion before viability. But with the death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg last year and the confirmation Yeah, can we just be easy on the TOS? Confirmation of Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Conservatives now hold a 6-3 majority and on the court and have begun signaling new willingness to reconsider the precedent. If the court rules let the Mississippi law stand, abortion rights supporters fear it could create a foundation for even more restrictive measures, including the law in Texas to stand. One of the groups challenging the Mississippi Law Center for Reproductive Rights called the Texas measure draconian and said it was currently considering all legal options. Texas is inviting anti-abortion protesters to police abortion clinics and harass providers, even though the state knows that these kind of bans are unconstitutional. Yeah, it's very close. It is very close. Like, come on, guys. It's very close. Yeah, exactly. It's like borderline gray area. Just, you know, understand that this is a friendly channel. So just try to keep that in the back pocket. Yeah. Texas currently bans abortion after 20 weeks, but in early months of the pandemic, the state moved the ban to procedure in most all cases, where the governor described as an effort to preserve medical supplies and resources. The move resulted in states across the Southwest reporting an influx of patients from Texas until the Supreme Court in January vacated a pair of lower court rulings upholding the ban. More than 56,000 abortions were performed on Texas residents in 2019, and according to the Texas Tribune, most of them in the first trimester. Yeah, there's nothing new there. Yeah, I agree. Because there's still people too? So just to be clear, like, just because these you know, just because like certain people have abhorrent views of the world, we care exactly even when they don't, and that's what we're supposed to be better, right? That's what we're supposed to do. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're right. Spread it forward. And then just again, I'm gonna get the healthcare whether they like it or not, and they get the healthcare whether they like it or not. Everybody wins. You may not care about them, but they're still here, okay? They're still here. Understand that. Like, I don't... Dangerous. The Planned Parenthood Texas votes and the Planned Parenthood Action Fund released a statement condemning the law as dangerous, among the harshest abortion bans in the country. Okay. Yeah, so Red Alert, this is a call to action. If you live in Texas, understand that this is what is going on here. And spread the word far and wide. This is what's happening. Get familiar with your state. Get familiar with your state legislators, your state senators, all of this. Hey, Kay, how's it going? Civility, politics, and playing nice and platforming the right only spreads their propaganda. Wait, but I don't do that. How many content creators platform them just for content? Yeah, but that's not what's happening here. And furthermore, it depends. What you mean by platforming them? Are you platforming them to make sure that you are properly and well versed to counter their arguments, or are you platforming them to just let them run wild and without any pushback? Does that make sense? I'm deaccessing homophobic books. I get to burn them. Is that happening on stream? And I feel like that may be more on the debate side. But either way, I mean, it depends on how you handle these situations, right? It depends on how you handle these situations. There's no need to, you know... Yeah, I don't know how that would flow. Okay, I don't know how that would work PR-wise. We'll see it on Fox News later. True. Alright, folks. It is 11:25. I do have to start heading out. Everybody be chill. Everybody be chill. This is a nice and friendly place, okay? Everybody be chill. This is a nice and friendly place. Whether we agree or disagree, just keep it civil. And go follow Surfer Girl, twitch.tv/Surfer Girl. Go follow twitch.tv/AlioShare. And let's see if I missed anybody. Anybody with a little diamond? Check out Atlantic World Jesse's podcast on YouTube's. Let me see else. Who else is a content creator that I missed here? A difficult truth is a diamond. True. Make sure I got everybody. Yes, AlioShare. Yeah, that's my entire jive, right? I'm trying to create a space for pleasant, chill conversations, okay? I don't think that's what's happening here. Anarcho-doomerism, alright? Just understand that we're here to have conversations, okay? Otherwise, I mean, if ad hominem is all you can do, I suggest maybe taking a different approach. Have a good day, everyone. You have a good day. Alright, folks. We are heading out here. Let me see. There was an error. Okay. Alright, we're gonna help out Bleep Blop Ben. As always, take care, everybody. I love you all. Oh, we are here. Folks, we are here Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Saturday, Catterday. Join the Discord. Do all the stuffs. Follow, subscribe, like, all of that stuff. Alright, you can take a break, my friend. Not Ben, I'm banned. Oh my god. Should we do Idan Simpson? We haven't rated them in a while. Idan Simpson? Alright, quick sign off, folks. Thank you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. Make sure you follow, subscribe, like, share, all of that awesome stuff. Alright? Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And as always, I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. See ya! Alright, hang tight, folks. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.